Hello and welcome to the second video in our series, Joomla 2.5, Introduction to Articles. We go to the back end of our website here on the control panel and we will click first on Article Manager. You can access this here with this button under Article Manager. You can also navigate to Content Article Manager and click on that. If you need to get back to your control panel, you can navigate to Site, Control Panel, and click on Article Manager. And again, here's our list of articles, and today we want to create a new article, so I will click on New. One thing to note, over here on the top right we have our icons. Save. This will allow you to save the article you're working on and continue to work on it. Save and close. Obviously we'll save the document and close it. Save and New. In case you want to create several new articles in a row, you'll be able to save it and then it will open a brand new article for you. Or if you change your mind, you can hit cancel and that will exit you out of the new article creation screen without saving anything at all. We want to give our new article a title. If I click here, some of the ones I've used before will come up. Let's say I want to say services. The alias will be created on its own once you save this article. It will usually be an abbreviation of the title, all lowercase. You can select a category, whether or not the article should be published, whether it's accessible by the public, permissions, whether it should be featured on the home page, the language it should be in. And if we scroll down, we will see our editor. One thing to note during this installation of Joomla 2.5, we are using the Joomla Content Editor, also known as JCE. So your version of Joomla 2.5 might have the default editor, and you might want to check out downloading and installing JCE, as I think it's a much better editor than what comes standard with Joomla. As you'll notice, you have a lot of possibilities here on your editor screen, and we're going to go over several of these that I feel you'll be using the most. Of course, at your leisure you can go over each one and practice with these, but some of the vital ones are bold, italic, underline, strike through. You notice each of these are going to have little mouse over helper tell you what they are. Those are the ones that we use the most, just like in a Word document. You can align your text full, center, to the left or to the right. You can select a bit of text and change whether or not it's a paragraph, whether it's a heading. You have those options here. You can change the style to something that's in the CSS file already. Those are all listed here. You can remove formatting, say if you paste something in that has some formatting from another document. And you can also clean up your HTML. Those coders like me find that button rather handy. So let's type some basic text in and play with some of our buttons. So here we have a basic sentence in our new article, and we're going to use some of our buttons. So I can highlight a particular string and select bold, and you can see right there that made that bold. And highlight another bit of text and say maybe make it italic. I can highlight the whole sentence if I wanted, and I can change the font family. We've got Comic Sans. Or I can highlight a bit of it and change the font size. Now, of course, one thing you might want to be cognizant of is you will have a Joomla template installed that will typically have all of the font colors and font sizes pre-formatted for you. So you really don't need to make adjustments using the editor here for your fonts and your font sizes. That will happen by default. Occasionally you may want to make a font size slightly bigger. If you do it too often, especially if you utilize these text colors, things like that, you could end up with a website that just doesn't quite look cohesive. So just a tip that you may want to keep all of this formatting default. And some of the other buttons you might use quite a bit. We have the copy and paste. If you are working in a Word document and you want to copy from that Word document and paste that text here into Joomla, what I would suggest is you utilize this button here, click that blue arrow and select paste as plain text. And what that accomplishes is Word will have a lot of junk added to your text, and utilizing that will strip all that junk out and leave you with just your text so that you don't have a whole mess of formatting and whatnot that you just don't want. You can indent, you can create an ordered list or an unordered list. You have a lot of options here. Again, your HTML toggle, clicking this once brings up HTML. Clicking it again takes you back to the regular editor screen. Working with tables, you can add tables to your article. And some of the most important are going to be down here on the bottom. If you have a very long article and you would like to have anchors within it so that people can jump to different parts of that article, this button here will help you create those. And the remove and edit link, highlight a bit of text that you would like to have linked. I'm going to click Insert Edit Link, and that brings up this window. You can paste the URL directly into this field, or what Joomla gives us the option to do is to link to an existing content item or menu item, or if you utilize them, the web links or contacts existing in Joomla itself. If I open this content section, we'll see all of our categories. So I open those and you'll see more of our categories. See, I click information. Here are all the articles categorized under information. I can choose any one of these and click it to populate that URL field. Now all I have to do is choose the target, and if I would like for search engine optimization, I can add a title through here and click insert, and now I have a link right there. If I change my mind and I don't want it, I can highlight this again and use the button unlink, and I will turn that off. The second most important is the ability to add images to your website, and we can do that right here from the article manager using this insert edit image link. I'm going to click on it and it brings up our window. We already have quite a few images already on our website that are listed here, and you can choose any one of these by clicking on it, and you'll see a preview and you'll see how it populates the information here. You can choose to align it left or right. You can choose to have a margin, which is always good in articles. If you say give it a 10 pixel margin, that assures that the text here will wrap around that image and not bump up right up on the edge of it. You can even include a border if you wanted to. And if I was done, I could select insert, and there I have an image. If I wanted to, I could change that image just by clicking on it. The blue means it's highlighted and active, and you click on the insert edit image button again. Let's say I want to change the alignment to the left. And then I hit update, and now we see it's moved to the left. I'll say I don't want to use this image, I want to use one that's on my computer. So I highlight this image again and click our edit image button. The image I want to use is on my computer. It is not yet on the server. So what we would do is use this link here for upload, and it brings up our window to browse. So here are a lot of the images for our website, and say I want to include this image. I can double click it and it will put it in our upload screen here, and I can hit the button upload, and when it's done it will close out, and we'll scroll here, and here we see the one that we just uploaded. If I click on that, it loads it up here. You can edit the dimensions, select whether you want it align to the left or the right, and when you're done, hit update, and now we have that image loaded in this article. So those are the basics of working within the editor on existing or new articles. And just to go over some of the information here on the right hand side, we have publishing options here. You can select a user. By default, Joomla will have your credentials in this box if you created the article. The created date, start publishing. Perhaps you have an article you don't want it to be published quite yet. You can select a date for when Joomla can automatically start publishing it. You can also select a date to stop publishing a particular article. Here we have article options. A lot of these are preset in Joomla. You can edit them for Joomla as a whole, and then you can select these article options on a case-by-case basis on each individual article. Whether or not to show the category and link to the category, whether or not to show the date it was created, show icons, print icon, email icon. Typically I will not show those. There's often a issue with search engines and duplicate content with those, so typically I keep those turned off. They're seldom used. And another great tab here is our metadata options. If you're into ranking well in the search engines, you can give your article a meta description and meta keywords. Robots, you can assign whether it should be followed or not. The title usually will be taken from the actual title here that we put, or you can use a different extension to add a specialized SEO title to your article. Those are the basics of adding and editing articles. I'm going to cancel out of this. I don't want to save this. So those are our articles. And next we can click on categories, just to give you a brief rundown. All of our articles will be categorized under one of these categories. You can always add new categories, and they can be nested under parent categories if necessary. One great option of having categories is the categories themselves can have description, such as this Institute category. We have added the same editor screen a description of the category. And then we have featured articles. Featured articles are any that you've selected to be featured on the home page. Typically, most Joomla sites will only have one, but if you would like your home page to be more of a blog format, you can have several articles displayed, and that will be controlled in the menu manager. And we'll go over a lot of that in our Joomla 2.5 Working with Menus video that will be coming up soon. But those are the basics of working with articles in Joomla 2.5, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more.